Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Juliet Akinyi.
I'm Collins Tobiko.
So, Toby, welcome back.
Thank you very much, and I'm always happy for your invitation here at Newsline. I'm always ready and I'm always available for the interview here at Newsline. This is not my first time, and neither is it my second time, but it's almost my fourth time coming here in the Newsline for the breakfast show. Yeah,
So, how was your weekend?
my weekend was quite good
Mm.
because I just stayed indoors throughout the whole weekend and indoors throughout the whole weekend, watching some games. Yeah, and here I am today. Yeah,
Okay. Did you see the government introduced free entry to national parks?
yeah. I saw everything with the government introduced last week, and it was a good idea because it helps the citizens who never get that chance to visit our national parks or game reserve. At least they got a chance to go and see the wild animals and everything. Yeah, it was which it's a positive idea from the government. Yeah.
Yeah. For my case, I I decided to join.
Did you visit one of the game reserve?
Yeah, I did,
Uh-huh.
and
And
it
what was
was.
your experience at that place?
I never had a good experience because it was really crowded,
Yeah, yeah. No,
and coming back, there was no transport. As in, the cars were.
no transportation. And what- how was it compared to the time where you went there without the free entry compared to on weekend whereby you went to?
Okay, I think the government deciding to why didn't you want to visit the park?
Okay, I just decided to stay indoors throughout the weekend because I felt like when I go there, there'll be a lot of commotion with people. I wouldn't have a good experience there compared to when I go there when without the free entry. You see, yeah, that's why I decided just to spend my weekend in the house without going anywhere. Yeah, doing my cleanness and everything. But what I can say from the government, that was a good idea, which helps the citizen a lot. Yeah, as a country. Yeah.
Okay, speaking about national parks, like, do you have any certain hobby?
About the national park or what?
Anything else?
Yeah, my hobby. I like playing football. Yeah, and maybe traveling. I like traveling a lot, a long distance travel. Yeah, that helped me a lot.
Okay, so today you're going to talk about the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Did you watch yesterday's news?
Yeah. I watched yesterday's news. There was a lot of things happening. Whereby on 2 days ago, former President William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta had a meeting with Jubilee members, whereby they discussed a lot of things. Yeah.
And what is your take on Uhuru's speech when he criticized the current government?
Okay, with me, I can say that the former president criticizing the government as if he never made any mistake during his regime. It's so diabolical, it's so ironical because as we compare this current government to the previous government, we can see both presidents almost have the same ideas or the same leadership qualities. Because during Uhuru's regime, there was a lot of maybe corruption, a lot of brutality from the government side compared to this government. Almost everything is the same. The other day, former president was speaking about how the current government is managing the funds. There is a lot of corruption in this government, but we all know that's a game that the politicians always play. Because even in the previous government, there was a lot of looting of funds. There was a lot of corruption. there was a lot of funds mismanagement, which caused that government not to do a lot of development to the citizen. And when the current government was being sworn in 2022, the treasury complained that there was a lot of money which was looted in a span of maybe 6 months, and whereby that's where we find that during when Uhuru Kenyatta was going out of office, he looted a lot of money, which he used to do some things, and whereby we heard that President Ruto saying when he took over the government, there were no money in the treasury that could, so he had to do a lot of things like owing some money from borrowing some money from other countries so that he can get out and do some development and to run the country. Yeah. And whereby you saw that he decided to raise taxes, the fuel price, everything, so that at least they can capture or they can do more things in the country. Yeah. So what the former president was doing was saying it was not a new thing because we are used to it. The other time when he was the guy, he was the president, he never did he never did a lot of development. We are used to it. And most African presidents always go for their personal interest first before the interests of the citizen. And that's what we heard from him complaining about the government, which suggests that he wants to be the leader. Maybe he wants to be the leader of the opposition, or maybe he wants to pick someone who can compete with Ruto coming 2027 elections. Yeah.
Okay. Last month we saw our current president Ruto invited the former president Uhuru Kenyatta
Yeah.
in State House.
Yeah.
What is your take on it?
Uh, Current president inviting the former president in the state house. That shows unity in the country. That's what the first thing I can
Is
say.
that unity though?
That's what I can say. It's like unity, you see, because President Ruto inviting Uhuru Kenyatta is like a sign of maybe they want to share ideas. But what we know is that these people are playing mind games. They are just confusing us as citizens, you see, of this nation. They are telling us maybe they are good friends and maybe they are not good friends. You see, when Uhuru was leaving the state house, he even told Ruto, we will communicate on phone. Meaning these people, they always meet at night, maybe in some hotels discussing their own things. And we always see from the internet that they are not good friends, but we all know behind the closed doors that these people are real friends. So politics is about mind game and about personal interest. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta cannot want to be an enemy to who? To Ruto, because he knows Ruto has power to do what? To bring down all his maybe companies and whatever. You see, that's why he must be friendly. They must be close to each other so that at least their business, Uru's business, could run well in the country. You see, so politics is about mind games and it's about the strongest to survive. Yeah.
Confusing Kenyans.
Huh? Yeah, they're just confusing Kenyans, nothing else. Yeah, and then a week ago, we saw that President Ruto was in New York for the UN meetings, and a lot happened whereby President Ruto urged the world leaders to be united and to stand together so that they can protect the world and can enhance development, unity, and togetherness in the region. And President Ruto this time around made sure that he stood still by standing with Africans, whereby he supported Africans. He told the United Nations that Africans need at least two representatives in the UN, the United Nations, and whereby he said that when the United Nations are providing the funds, we as the maybe Africa, they always say Africans were poor, but even if we are poor, but you find that the European countries or the Western countries always get 64% of what the European or what the United Nations always provide. But we Africans we always get the lowest amount. So President William Ruto was telling the United Nation that they should consider that by providing equal supply of funds and everything so that we Africans so can develop in every part, not only Western Africa gets more percentage of funds. Yeah.
Also, last week we saw that the current president, uh, he talked about the TSC.
JC Teacher Service Commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. For now, we can leaving up aside the Teacher Service Commission, we come with the university strike. The Ministry of Education has a lot to do because this year alone we have had how many strikes? Two strikes in the in the public universities. In January we had strike. Was it not this year? Last year. Last year. When was the when was the strike? The first strike I guess was the January one. I'm not sure about it. But in a span of 1 year we have had two strikes in campus in public universities, and which is really affecting the students in campus, whereby it's taking a lot of their time in campus. Because when you say there's two strikes in a span of 1 year, that means a student will have to miss how many semesters a year? Two. So for someone who needs to graduate maybe in 2 years, will have to graduate in 3 years because of these strikes. And the government is the one that is not taking measures on providing funds or paying the lecturers. End of it, the government is banned the help loan to students, which was almost 10 billion. Why didn't they pay the lecturers also? You see, and the lecturers that they keep people in this in the university. So the Ministry of Education and the government in general needs to put more effort and ensure that the strike has ended soon, without so that they cannot leave the students just doing nothing in the campus. Yeah, because it will take much of their time. Yeah.
Okay. So, on to our next story. We were talking about sports. During the weekend, we saw Manchester played against.
Brentford, and which it was not a good game on my side because it really affected some of us as football fans, whereby we always say early kickoff always has a lot of dramas, and the truth came open on Saturday, whereby Manchester United were outshined by Brentford by 3 goals to 1, whereby our key player Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. So I don't know what I can say about. For now, I cannot describe Manchester United in detail because we are trashed. We are a trashed currently we are a trashed team because we have good players, but we don't know what's the problem. Brentford sold almost all their key players in the previous transfer window, which is the summer. They released Meumo, Wisa, almost 5 of their key players were from the first 11 or so. But they are still strong compared to Manchester United, which bought a lot of players, key players and big players, but they are not doing anything. So I don't know what I can say about Manchester United for now, but we are really struggling. Since the start of the season, I guess we have only won 3 games. 2 games. That was Arsenal. When we beat Chelsea, and others were lucky last weekend, and Burnley. Like so, what I can say is that for now, Manchester United, no, they are not in a position for competing for the Premier League title. Yeah, there were a lot of games whereby same thing happened to Chelsea later in the evening on Saturday, whereby they were they were beaten by Brentford. But for them, we can say they were affected by the red card. But we always say red card is part of the game. Yeah. So and your team, I guess you once told me that you are a City fan.
Yeah.
You know, City managed to beat Burnley 5 goals by 1 and wish.
It was a nice game, by the way.
I know it was a nice game, but Burnley is a small team. Burnley is a small team because even the Premier League giants, Liverpool, were trashed by Crystal Palace, and which that's a normal thing. When Liverpool face Crystal Palace, that game is always it's always hard because they know each other well. So you can say on a Saturday, the weekend was so bored in a way and so boring in a way because Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, they all lost the game. So I don't know how it was a coincidence, but they all lost. And yeah, on Sunday, Arsenal, the one who tried a little bit. Yeah, of course they tried, man. They tried. Walikuja kuwin dakika za mwisho mwisho by a comeback when the Newcastle players were so, I can say they were tired of what, but the substitutes that they did, Eddie Howe, the Newcastle coach did, was the one which cost Newcastle a lot. Yeah, but congratulations to Arsenal. But what I know from my side is that they'll just finish position 2, but not win the Premier League.
That's
Yeah,
obvious.
you all know that. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your take on Nyashinsky's new album?
Okay, Nyashinsky new album. I don't have much idea about it, but I can say Nyashinsky new album. He should have featured more artists and more of Kenyan, or at least to so that the industry could grow. Yeah, that's what I have. Nyashinsky said, yeah.
But we've seen his songs are among the most streamed songs in Kenya right now.
Yeah. But of course, his songs are most streamed in, maybe not in Africa, in Kenya alone, but you can say Eastern Africa.
He's a good musician, though.
Yeah, he's a good musician. He's well known in Africa, yeah, and maybe abroad. So we can say that he should at least recently Nyashinsky has not been featuring most of the Kenyan artists in his songs. Yeah. So I can say he should try it and feature Kenyan artists so that the industry could grow. Yeah.
By the way, we saw Mulamwa and the other Kenyan artists. They were invited to China.
Yeah. It was Mulamwa, JC, the MC, Betty Chalo, and Terence. They were invited to the China to represent the Kenyans artists, yeah, the Kenyan industry artists, which was a good idea because I guess they picked from every country there was a representative, and it was done by the China embassy, Kenyan embassy, China embassy, yeah, in every country. So they could go and bring thoughts and things, do some works in China, yeah, and which, but the Kenyans raised concern in saying that why is it Mulamwa? Because I guess last year Mulamwa was also there. So Kenyans were saying, why is it that Mulamwa is always there? Mulamwa never misses these things or whatever, blah blah blah. But maybe it's through his luck and maybe his hard work that makes him to be appointed and recognized most of the time. Yeah.
And do you think they made Kenyans proud?
Yeah, they made Kenya proud because they showcased what they went to see there and what they were taught, everything from there. Yeah. And the Kenyans were able to, I can say the Kenyans were able to enjoy everything, yeah, from the side. By the way, umesikia story ya Kaluma uko Dhaya?
Hiyo nimekuwa TikTok.
Kuna story imekuwa ikitrend. Huyo boy amekuwa akitrend for the last 2 months, 3 months. TikTok alikuwa akirun babake amekuwa mgonjwa, so alikuwa anaambia Wakenya wakuje wamsaidie kusaidia babake health ya babake iko mzuri. I guess babake alikuwa amepata stroke.
Hiyo ilikuwa lini? as in stroke.
Sijui ilianza lini, lakini nimekuwa nikiona huyo boy amekuwa akifanya hivyo. Then alikuwa anaenda kwa shamba ya chai, yeye alikuwa anaprovidea baba yake, unaona, alikuwa amefika hapo ndio anaprovidea baba yake. Nilikuwa naona anaenda kwa shamba ya chai and yeah, most of the time yeye ndio kama alikuwa breadwinner, unaona, instead baba yake akue breadwinner, yeye ndio alikuwa breadwinner kwa baba yake, unaona.
Sasa tunaona hiyo ili unite Kenyans, watu walishow up wakiwa wengi.
Watu wengi, kulikuwa na manduthi gang nini, hadi forex trader, one of the forex traders in Kenya alikuwa Kenyan Prince, alikuwa huko, niliona yeye alitoa 50,000, si ndio? Contribute 50,000, ali make sure alifika huko, the which ilikuwa kitu mzuri, ilisaidia sana. Pia politicians walikuwa, kuna some of the politicians walikuwa, by the way, politicians wanajaribu kuteka advantage, wakiona mali kuna shida, ndio politicians run, wanataka kwenda kujionyesha wako wazuri. Kuna politician fulani alisema that baba Kaluma alikuwa classmate wake. Sasa watu sijui ni nani, but alisema ni MP, alisema baba ya Kaluma alikuwa classmate wake. Watu wakamwambia hatutaki such stories hapa hivi, unaona. Kama alikuwa classmate wake, mbona hakuja kumsaidia? Kama alikuwa anamjua, si ndio? Angekuja mapema kumsaidia, bali kusikia ile time watu wamekuja ndio akaenda kumsaidia.
Sasa Kenyans like wali contribute how much, ama hiyo mambo hospitalization inaanza lini?
Okay, sijui the amount of money wali contribute, but I guess wali contribute a lot of money. Then I guess wale walisema watamjengea nyumba nini, yeah, everything, yeah.
Okay, naona je story ya freshers night ya MKU na JKUAT, kumekuwa na
freshers night nayo iliweza. Mimi naweza sema since nikuje maybe campus, freshers night yenye ilizua ilikuwa na a lot of stories nini, ni adizia, kwa sababu JKUAT nao kwanza walikuwa washa announce date ya freshers night yao 1 month ago, wakasema itakuwa 26 September on Friday. MKU used it 1 week ago, akasema freshers night yao itakuwa 26. So meaning ilikuwa kama competition, unaona. So walikuwa wanataka kujua gani itakuwa best, but pia KCA walikuwa na walaigeza, nasikia pia KCA walikuwa na freshers night, but yao nasikia ilikuwa inakaa kama chama
ya KCA. Wote walisema ilikuwa crusade,
so walikuwa inakaa crusade nini, haikuwa imeweza, ilikuwa nini hapa ni JKUAT na MKU ndio ilikuwa iliteka Thika Road na Nairobi in general. Which
ulienda gani?
Mimi nilibalance, I have a 12-hour night. Sasa niliingia MKU kidogo, nikajipata JKUAT. Sijui nilifika aje JKUAT, but nilijipata JKUAT hadi asubuhi. Ndio vitu JKUAT ilishika. JKUAT ilikuwa imeweza because ilikuwa tu vibe. My side JKUAT ilikuwa vibe. Entertainment ilikuwa fiti nini. Field ilikuwa ina accommodate kila mtu. Unaona, si kama MKU. MKU ilikuwa na field by the way. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa one disadvantage ya MKU. Haukuwa na field, alafu pia unaona JKUAT walikuwa na allow kila msee, kila comrade wa any university ingie. So like hiyo ndio ilimake ikakuwa best, unaona. Na artist wenye walikuwa huko pia, furthermore alikuwa huko pia, after ametoka MKU ndio akakuja huko, iliweza baadaye.
Nilisikia nini drinks zilisha like JKUAT.
Juu watu walikuwa na buy drinks, pombe, nini, everything. Watu walikuwa, kila mtu alikuwa level yake, unaona. That's why huwezi compare. Wasee walikuwa wanabambika tu sana.
Mimi nikiangalia like naona ya MKU ilikuwa fiti than ya JKUAT. Juu JKUAT siku ilikuwa na wizi kama huo Michelle.
Okay, pati ya kuibiwa inakuanga msee, wewe jishughulishe na your own security na your own safety. Unaona? Yeye sisi tulienda huko for the vibe. Yeye akakuwa careless, akatoka. That's about carelessness. Ndio utokwe. Haukuwa na issue na insecurities huko by the way. Mimi kulikuwa na security, ilikuwa walikuwa well prepared. So JKUAT walikuwa sawa. Ni ile mjakamfai naye alitokwa na carelessness yake. Maybe hakuwa ameweka simu. Ndio vitu unajua tu. Mahali comrades wako lazima mtu atataka. Wewe umeona iPhone 16 na lalala utaacha. Huwezi. So ndio huwezi compare na MKU hapa hivi. comrades now ndio walikuwa na allow tu comrades wa MKU peke yake, so unaona aingeleta ile vibe, alafu huwezi ingia na drinks, unaona na ndio sherehe ishike, unajua lazima mtu kwanza umechangamka kiasi.
Na event ya Thames, kwenye Thames aliperform peke yake, like
okay, Thames perform peke yake hiyo ni after. Sasa unajua the good thing, the organizers, the event organizer at least walipea Kenyan artist stage. Unaona Chimano aliperform Toxic, so unaona at least kulikuwa Kenyan artist walipewa hiyo stage ya perform. By the Thames wase tulienda huko, tulienda kuona Thames. Unajua Thames anaanga ameweza, unaona Thames anaanga ameweza, so sisi tulienda kuona huyu artist wetu anaanga ameweza. Is it inakuanga tu ni kamera inamuosha ama ni nini? But kufika huko tuliona at least
mimi naona outfit yake ilikuwa fit.
Dressing outfit yake ilikuwa fit, dressing code yake ilikuwa fit, at least ilikuwa kitu naweza sema kitu presentable, unaona at least yeye mwenyewe alikuwa na fit. And watu walikuwa wengi sana huko, but one thing niliweza ona, kuna watu walikuwa wanajua lyrics kidogo, wengine hawajui. Huwezi moja mbili hivi, huwezi compare na kina Rema Davido wakikujanga Kenya. Unaonanga lyrics zao zinakuwa fans wanakuwa wameshika lyrics almost zote, song zote, unaona. Same way venye nani alikuja juzi Kenya. Aitwa nani? Huyu Nigerian artist. Sahau jina lake. Nipotelea. Burna Boy, venye Burna Boy alikuja. So uliona at least Wakenya walikuwa wana follow na yeye hadi alikuwa anaenda anaacha imbi. Fans ndio anaimba. So compared to Thames. Kwa Thames kuna venye kulikuwa na kabaridi kidogo. The other day Rema venye alikuwa Kasarani. Ilishika. Iliweza juu at least unajua kuna kitu mzuri artist anapenda kama ajue that fans wake wanasikiza music yake na wanajua lyrics, unaona. Hiyo itampea more courage za kuendelea kuperform na itampea more psyche ya kuimba, unaona. Sasa kama unapata sio kama wewe ni artist uende MKU perform alafu watu utafeel aje? Si unaona ni kama venye Toxic hapa MKU na not Toxic na nini into nani alijaribu alimba song ya alikuwa anaimba lines za nani za Toxic Tipsy G, alikuwa anaimba watu wakamwambia na wanakuanga na beef. So unaona hiyo vitu kama hizo, mbona uimbe song ya msanii mwingine na wewe mwenyewe ni artist na ndio which ni si mabeshte, unaona. So that's vitu kama hiyo at least most of the artists wenye wamekuja Kenya, kama nani anakuja Kenya, nani atakuwa na perform Kenya 20 December, nani huyu Nigerian artist, kuna huyu Nigerian artist atakuwa na perform Kenya 20
Ashake
by then, unaona. Na watu wako rooted to it juu youths wanajua songs zake, unaona. Si kama Thames tunajua songs zake, lakini lyrics hapo kidogo inapiga nini kwa youth chenga.
Sasa tukicompare Thames na Irasta, tunasema like songs za Irasta zinajulikana sana
mostly. Songs za Irasta zinajulikana Kenya. That's what I can say. At least hadi kuna time alikuja na aliperform vizuri by the way. So mimi nasema saizi Irasta na Thames, I'll go with Irasta. Yeah. Of course I'll go for Star na Thames hapo nyuma. Azia. Baadhi kuna story ya Azia imekuwa ikitrend au sijui nini.
Mambo na nyumba yake. Ukiangalia inakaa true. Unajua mambo ya social media like watu husema vitu for the sake of.
Unajua vitu zingine kama hizo wanatumia kama cloud. So huwezi jua, lakini si ulisikia alikuwa exposed na hiyo sako ilikuwa imempea nini, sasa wakaiweka auction nyumba yake kama hiyo story ni nini. Hiyo loan ilikuwa loan ya
ilikuwa
25 au ilikuwa ngapi?
25M.
Ilikuwa 25. Ilikuwa 25. Ilikuwa 25. Sasa ndio wakai auction hiyo nyumba yake ya. But Azia tumemzoea na madrama. Hii si kitu ya kwanza. Kuna ile time sijui alikuwa wapi akaanza kukopa mabeshte zake do. So naweza sema maybe sometimes nakwanga cloud. That's why story na celebrities now mostly
Hata kama ni cloud, mimi naweza sema Aziad ako fiti, si ako 25 years. Na kama uko 25 na unaweza kupata like 25 million.
Mbona tushughulike na vitu? Watu wangapi wako above Aziad na wenye wanashinda wakicriticize na hawana hiyo chenye Aziad yeye mwenyewe ako nayo. Hawajafika place Aziad amefika, unaona? So sometimes unaona let her do whatever she fit, chenye anaona ni fit on her side kuliko kushinda kumcriticize nini, unaona? Ndio si fit.
Kama ni cloud inamsaidia juu si bado in a way ana build her brand.
Yeye ana grow, unaona? Na kama kuna zile brands zake mwenyewe alikuwa amenini nazo, obvious wanajua if kama ni ukweli ama ni uongo, wanajua kama ni cloud ama ni a real story, unaona? So hivi pata because most of Kenyan artists wanapenda kutumia cloud. The other day Will Paul akiwa na show, kuna ile song yake ameshoot na nani tani huyu juzi, kuna song yake mpya alishoot na ndio nani akaanza kusema huja huyu boy wali Patelo alianza kusema baadaye ati hajamlipa sijui nini every social media kulikuwa na hiyo story. Kumbe kila mtu alikuwa anajua ni nini, watu wako wanajua kwanza ni real story, but after hapo si song ilikuja kwa release the following day, meaning ilikuwa cloud. So Kenyan artists wanapenda kutumia cloud as one way of sell their brand na nini. So unaona cloud imetake a lot most of their but wanafaa kutafuta another means. Ukitumia cloud every day
so naweza market their songs.
Ndio hiyo tumezoea, even the Bahatis wanapenda kutumia cloud every day. Unaamka kuna story yake ndio sasa unashangaa rada inaendelea na Kenya.
Okay, so unajua nini etajo Nyamu at Princess ni baby mama number 2 wa Fadhamo.
Na nimemsikia.
Okay, so juzi ni last month I think alijifungua, and then Kenyans wakaanza ku speculate ati Fadhamo hampendi juu hakushow up kwa
nini yake. Okay, kushow up ama kutoshow up, sometimes kushow up nayo ina matter a lot, unaona? Maybe na kutoshow up, maybe Fadhamo alikuwa na samadha juu pengine sometimes is it for let's say for example women wengi wao wajuangi the exact same date, not the exact time ya kugive, but no. So pengine Fadhamo alikuwa na mashughuli zake ikampata nawe, si ndio? Si maybe sometimes si kuna ile unaweza ambiwa maybe utajifungua, maybe daktari atakwambia utajifungua maybe 38 masaa fulani, but ikuje before hiyo masaa, unaona? Sasa unaona inakuanga hivyo, ni vitu wapi. So maybe alikuwa held up somewhere, but to complain over nothing.
Lakini mbona uko held up for like a week juu si Nyamu alikuwa hosi for like a week? Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Maybe pengine wako na story zao wewe wenyewe, so hapo hiyo sina.
So sasa tukisema like for example sasa wewe umesema ati maybe Fadhamo alikuwa busy, like kitu kama hiyo, unaona ungeweza fanya kitu kama hiyo?
Mimi siwezi. I'll make sure niko hapo, unaona, unless otherwise maybe pengine nimekuwa na maybe let's say for example my wife anajifungua maybe in the next seme 24 hours ama seme anajifungua maybe kesho jioni, alafu ifike hiyo jioni maybe siku make it maybe do something, unaona, emergency tu. So kuna emergency hutokea na kuna ile inaweza make call mwambie siwezi fika, unaona? Inaeleweka. Kuna zile emergency zingine yenyewe maybe ku give birth ni a main thing, unaona, ni lazima nikuwa hapa kupea support mimi, si ndio? Lakini maybe kuna kitu kingine nimehappen, maybe nisipo attend hiyo kitu maybe haizi fanyika ama itakuwa cause something big, unaona? So maybe I just have to be there. Sasa vitu mingi wape, so but I'll always try.
So you don't strike unapangia mara ngapi?
kwani siku 2, 3 depend with life na venye the part life started. Yeah. Uh, thank you for staying with us. The morning vibe. I'm Collins Tobiko.
I'm Juliet.
In case of kama unataka kufanya attachment, unataka kufanya mambo na video editing, broadcasting, anything with media, unaweza kuja hapa Newsline. We are located in Thika town, Zuhura place opposite Quickmart, 4th floor. Yeah, thank you.